What's poppin', wrestling fans? We are back with a mega episode of
The pile driver.
we
It's the
call
mega pile driver.
the Mega Piledriver. Emphasis on the mega. We got a
We,
special show today. We got
big show.
not one guest. We got two guests today.
Forgot my headphones.
We got two guests today for this mega show. We have Jevic.
The ageless wonder. I'm
I'm
excited to hear what Jeff has to say.
excited as well. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. And also, we have the mega champion, Ashton Day,
The heartstringer.
the headliner, the
I'm
champ.
so excited to talk to him and figure, get his take on his career, everything in between. I mean, he's got a big upcoming match this weekend, this coming Saturday, with Zoe Sky at Lorain County Community College at the Field House. All the information's actually behind Dean. You can get it on their Facebook at Mega Championship Wrestling. It's, tickets are still available. Front row has sold out. Your boys will be there live. It's going to be a great show. I'm really
It'll
excited.
be a damn good show, man. And we are ready. And we got two of their stars coming on to talk to us about it today. So stay
Both
tuned.
of whom will be competing in the event. Jeff Jevic as a member of the Crown Prince Battle Royal, and like I just said, Ashton will be defending his title against Zoe. So it's going to be a big show today.
Congrats to the champ, man. He's been holding it down. Excited to hear what he has to say. A few things to talk about this week.
As I say, we'll talk about some real wrestling first. We'll talk about some. I mean, I won't say it like that, like real wrestling. Let's say WWE.
Just a few of the main headlines.
Yeah,
we're not recapping shit unless it's a local show like OCW or Mega Championship Wrestling. We're gonna stray away from the televised stuff that everybody and their mom knows. So, a few things we want to get to: AEW, MJF.
Okay, so first off, two things I want to talk about MJF. Number one, the Burberry belt. How do you feel about the Burberry belt?
I like it.
I like it too.
It's
clean. It's clean, and it's not like it's too over the top customized. He didn't touch the plates. He didn't touch anything. He just put the Burberry design real lightly because he could have made it like that tan color. You know what I'm saying? Like the real light tan, like his scarf. Yeah. He could have made it like that, but he kept it a nice dark, and it's got like the Burberry. I love it. I think it's sweet.
It's slick.
Second of all, laying out William Regal. So,
and then ending it with the email response that he got from when Regal was in WWE.
Well, I was going to say multiple things that I got that I've read since then was that there was a clause in William Regal's contract that he was allowed to go back to WWE if Triple H was put in charge.
Is that real?
So that I assume it's. I mean, come on, think about it.
I mean, I've heard rumors that it was just a 1-year contract.
I've heard that too, but it would make sense even if it wasn't just a 1-year contract for him to put a clause like that. Like, sure, I'll come to AEW. It'll be a big pop for you guys. I'll put this group together. He was like, but if Triple H returns to power, I'd like to be able to go back there. I've worked for him forever, et cetera, et cetera.
WWE's his home. Let's just be honest.
Triple H gets put into power, and then 3 weeks later, William Regal gets basically killed off AEW TV.
Blackpool Combat Club is going to be fine without him.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 110%. I said that last week.
Yep. WWE's home to him. So I'm not surprised, but I didn't know that that's a real thing. That actually is in his contract. If so, that's awesome. Which is just a matter of time. Triple H already for War Games through the videos of Regal saying it. You know what I'm saying? If Regal was to come back, what would you like him to do? Would you like him to be a general manager of one of the big brands? Or would you like him to take back over NXT?
I would probably go with William Regal to NXT. If not NXT, he would be Triple H's right-hand man. Like, he would be right there in the production truck, right next to Triple H, right next to it. Like, that's got to be his only option. I mean, it's fucking William Regal, dude. He's basically a genius.
I'm trying to think if I can picture somebody that he could maybe be a manager for or a mouthpiece. I can't really think of anybody.
I'm not sure. I don't know because like, what do you put
Unless
him
he
with the
talks for Imperium
you put him with the brawling brutes,
or
yeah, or the
Imperium.
brawling brutes or
Or,
Imperium. Um, but it's got. I'm gonna say that. I mean, it would look all right, Imperium, but in my opinion, I think Ricochet is going to win. Ricochet, congratulations, winning the
SmackDown World Cup on Fox.
the gauntlet to get the Intercontinental title shot. I would actually be really, really happy if Ricochet won. Coming back
like
on
how
real
they're
quick,
pushing Ricochet.
did you know? We all know that Ricochet was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. Did you know that Santos Escobar was King Cuerno?
I did not.
I did not know that either till the other night when they were about to fight. You know, like last week or whatever, when he fought he fought Santos Escobar
That was a good match.
to make it to the finals. People were posting all over Twitter and they were like, King Cuerno and Prince Puma reunited once again, like WWE's going Lucha Underground. And I was like, I didn't know that Santos Escobar was King Cuerno.
That was the final for the SmackDown World Cup, which I think gave them the title.
Yeah.
They got the trophy, but
so
it was a good match.
He gets a title shot. He gets an Intercontinental title shot against Gunther.
Gunther going to cave his chest in.
I actually, like I said, I think Ricochet's going to win it. I think Ricochet's going to somehow pull it off and win it.
How many chops does Ricochet take off?
A bunch.
A bunch?
A bunch. He'll take a bunch. Ricochet can take a pounding, but I think that's always been his like motif, his game, is that he can take a beating and then somehow pull out a dub. And then,
Over
3. Yeah, 630, something like that, and he'll win an Intercontinental title under Triple H because I feel like Vince McMahon buried Ricochet. So
100%.
Is what it is. And another real quick, I want to get a shout out to my boy. Finally got his props. We the ones. Sammy Uso got props from the whole family on SmackDown.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. I want to ask you how you feel about Solo. He kind of like he wasn't wearing the shirt. He's just kind of sitting there. He's not even like celebrating with him. He just looks pissed.
So I've seen a couple things about this
himself, but
I've seen a couple, I guess we'll call them theories, that Solo Sikoa, and everybody was like, everybody's all worried about Sami Zayn turning on the bloodline. And they were like, you're literally not paying attention to the man whose name means alone. His name is Solo. Like, he is alone. He wants to be the lone wolf. He reminds me, somebody actually put a Twitter, I forget who it was, and I wish I could credit them because it was an awesome tweet. Solo Sikoa reminds me of Umaga. He has a very like killer instinct. He's big, but he's very agile. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
a young Taz.
A young Taz. Umaga, Samoa. I think they just said Umaga because of the Samoan, but still, I could see what if Solo started doing the spike.
Well, I mean, there's also reports that Sammy's still going to end up turning, and I heard that Sammy and KO are going to team together
and take the tag team titles
at WrestleMania.
I've heard the same. So we'll see how it goes. I've also heard that The Rock is going to take both titles from Roman Reigns. And that The Rock is going to win the Royal Rumble. So,
Cody don't win the Royal Rumble. I'm ready.
I do want to say another thing real quick. I read a report yesterday that was actually Kurt Angle was on a podcast, and he was talking about Brock Lesnar. That back in the day, I guess Brock Lesnar messaged Kurt Angle and was like, "How much you making over there at TNA?" And Kurt Angle told him, and he was like, "If you can get me around that much, I'll come." And TNA said no. Could you imagine prime Brock Lesnar going to TNA instead of coming back to WWE?
That would be wild.
That would have been crazy. Like Brock just tossing people around the 6-sided ring.
I would love that. I would love that, actually. The Usos are set to get new titles as well, from what we've heard.
Are they?
Yeah. From what I've heard is that the belts have already been commissioned, and Roman Reigns is going to be presenting the Usos with a black version or it might be a new look.
I did see because
I'm over that design. I'm over them. They need a refresh.
Yeah, I'm not okay with the red and the black or the black and
I don't know,
blue,
man. Just
the
over the
blue and
plates,
the
there's
red.
little
Guest in
Spartan
here.
heads. Like, no,
Yeah, they're
that's
not.
about
They're not.
it.
But that's. I read it the
All
black.
right,
If
well,
they do
then,
get the black straps, they're
we
not
just
going to
gotta-
change the
back. We're
plates.
I was
gonna
gonna say we just got to
Jeff
get
over
him
here.
in
Give
here.
them
We got
black
to get
straps
Jeff
on
up
those
in here, and we'll be right back.
with silver plates.
Bring back like a vintage look. I wish they'd
My
have.
favorite tag team belts were the ones that the Road Dogs and Billy Gunn held.
Me too.
The
I
one that
was
say
I was kind
"World"
of
in the front of
liking
them.
if they took a similar design of the WWF Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, the one that like Eddie had and Brock. A similar design to that and make it into a tag team title. That would be kind of cool. Something different, some little retro look to it. Put a white strap on the current Intercontinental title while we're at it.
Yeah.
I think that would look sweet on that belt. Yeah.
Well, anything else mainstream wrestling before we get our first guest in here?
No, that's about it.
All right. Well,
It's
then
gonna-
we
We'll
just
be
got
right
to.
back. We're
I was
gonna
gonna say we just got to
Jeff up
get him in here, and we got to get Jeff up in here, and we'll be right back.
What is going on, everybody? And we are back, and we are joined by the ageless wonder, Jeff Jevic. How are you doing, man?
I'm all right. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Thanks for joining us. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
This weekend, Night of Champions. You are in the Crown Prince Battle Royal.
I am.
What number are you coming in?
What number? Yeah, what number are you coming in?
I don't know.
Oh, you
don't
know,
know?
Is it a random draw? Is it a random draw?
I think it's random.
Okay.
I like it.
My luck,
the
I'll be
mystery
number
going.
1 and then out by number 3.
No, I got you. You're gonna win this, I think.
That's my
Is
pick.
there a work pool now for the battle?
You got a game plan going into this?
Not get winded getting to the ring because it's been 2 years since I've been in a ring.
It's been 2 years.
It has been 2 years. I quote unquote retired in 2018 ish. So
You came back with the Bearded Bastards.
no, I finished up with Bearded Bastards.
You finished with the Bearded Bastards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that stemmed into our podcast that we had for a minute. But
Which is a great podcast. I miss it.
it was fun. It was just everybody's work schedule and life schedules and shit started changing. So it was hard to like get everybody together.
Understandable. We've been there. We have definitely been there.
Oh yeah, we've definitely had our nights and our days where we've had to, cancel a show or reschedule a show for later on because of my kids or Dean's kids.
Right.
Kids, shit happens. Oh, looking back at a little bit of your history, you guys were also known as the Brasky brothers at one point.
We were. I was so excited about this. So if you're familiar with old wrestling, Fontaine runs old wrestling.
Fontaine's
And-
great.
Yeah. And like to be able to work one of those shows was like my WrestleMania. Like that's the show that I wanted to work on. And we had the opportunity to there was the festival, I don't know what it's called, out in is it Willard? Out that way, like past Norwalk.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
But no, we got to work 2 shows there because they did like a day show and a night show. And they were like, well, we don't know if we really want to use like the bearded, like the Bastards name and stuff. And I had beer steins because we used to come out with like beer steins. I was like, well, let's come out to the as Brasky Bros from the skit Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So it was Bruiser Brasky, and I was what did they bill me as?
I seen this earlier too.
I just because I happened to look some stuff up, and I don't. It's like on like Caged Superstar or something, like some website that somebody keeps track of all the indie stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was Bruiser Brasky, and I forget something Brasky. I can't remember my own name in that show. But,
Can't remember your own name.
right. But it was fun. It was We
Who'd you wrestle against?
we
You
did
remember?
we did a 6-man. It was me, Bruiser, and Gino against Gregory Iron and PME.
You gotta love Gregory.
Okay.
And then the first was it the first show? Might have been the second show. It was me and Bruiser against Fontaine and Billy Taylor.
You were brawny,
Brawny, that's what it was.
Brawny Bruiser.
Yeah.
brawny bruiser. I love it.
Brawny and Bruiser. That's
You also
cool.
were in a tag team, from what I've seen, was called Total Anarchy.
That was the first one. That was me and Chuck Brody.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did
Looking
that
back
last?
looking back on it, like I didn't like it wasn't intentional, but if you look at our old promo pic, like it is a straight up like we completely robbed the Dudley Boys look with the camo pants and like
Nice.
the shorts
Awesome, though.
but that was straight out of like the first year of Mega. So that would have been like 2000 to like 2000 to 2003, I think
And you were a former brass knuckles champion for Mega.
it was. 2000 what year would that have been?
When did they retire that belt?
The brass knuckles belt. They still got brass knuckles belt.
Brass knuckles?
Well, they have it now. They resurrected it, but it
Yeah.
was
I believe Norm is the brass knuckles champion currently.
You're right.
hardcore
But I know
one.
it was gone for a while.
Yeah, what we ended up doing was they took the light heavyweight title that we had and the brass knuckles, and they kind of like I guess put those together, and that became what is now the Fighting Spirit title.
Okay.
So the brass knuckles title got retired. The light heavyweight got retired way before the brass knuckles one did. But the belt has always been sitting up at the training center, like up in the little shelf thing.
I was saying because I thought the brass knuckles belt was the older looking belt, and that was the one Norm's carrying around currently.
Yeah, that was because the old as far as belt history goes, we had the old WCW like United States, like the Eagle United States belt.
That was on my picks last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
That was Mega's first title. We had a US title.
Okay.
And then the brass knuckles was like the secondary title, and then we had tag team titles. But yeah, that the brass knuckles title has been sitting at the gym on the shelf for years. So when they started doing the gym tapings, they
Tuesday turmoils.
they reintroduced the belt. So brass knuckles is like a turmoil kind of belt. Like
Okay.
that belt will always be defended on those shows.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
That's kind of cool. That is cool. Since that's where the belt's at too. So
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Now I was looking back. Your first match was in 1998. That's when you first got into wrestling, right? Is that correct?
Would have been my 20th birthday, so it would have been 21, I think. I technically started training in like 98-ish, 99. And then when Mega got their own training center, I started training full time. And that was at the little spot there at Jamie's Flea Market.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah. Where the toy store is up front and the third
Yeah.
building, there's a little like cubby space that actually was set up pretty nice. It had like a balcony around it and stuff, but there was enough room to set a ring up in there. So that's where the first technical training school was at.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I go in
That's
that toy store all the
actually
time.
pretty cool.
Every time I go to Jamie's, I go to that toy store.
I found some key pieces in that toy store for cheap.
Oh, yeah, that guy's got
What's
anything
pop?
and everything you could think of in there.
It's insane. I'm almost
But yeah,
afraid to walk. My big ass, I'm afraid to walk around there.
What is now the Mega School used to be Shooting Star Pro Wrestling School. And that was when we first moved to Jamie's Flea Market. That was the first school, and that's where Sturks owned part of that building because they had Sturks Hall in there. and that's where we ran the first set of shows at.
I seen your first 3 matches were against a gentleman named Corporal Robinson. Is that correct?
I know, and I don't know where that comes from because I
That's-
saw that too.
That's
I
not
said
correct.
We had a regular match.
Big
and then you
dog.
had Texas
See you
Tech
next
match,
week.
dog collar match. I'm like, damn, he went right into it.
No, I think what it is obviously
There's somebody else named Jeff Jevic.
No,
Well,
I think
no,
it was
like-
Alcatraz at that
yeah,
time.
like
Trez.
early, like my first gimmick name was Alcatraz. but there
497463.
was, like, 4 other
That's Marlowe Shoes and Lynn.
guys
Are you looking
that
to maintain a
I
healthy?
knew just from looking up stuff. So I think somehow that all got like added onto my thing, and I was like, I've got to work for Corporal before for the Juggalos, but like I never got to like work them.
Oh, okay. So that's not correct.
No,
No,
that was off that cage site, website you mentioned earlier.
That's yeah. Like they tell me I only have like 100 matches, and I'm like, well, I know that's not right.
It said like 105 matches, and you were
Right.
45 and 55 and 5 draws.
Right.
You worked with JCW?
Yeah. Back me and Eric Ryan. This was a Juggalo show that they did at the Agora. I want to say 2008-ish, maybe. But when JT was still around, like he was like the contact that they had. And the tag team that was traveling with them was from Detroit, but their car broke down or whatever. So JT called Traxler and was like, hey, you know, you got 2 guys that can work tonight. And me and Eric were like, well, yeah, sure. You know, we're all in the car together anyways. We're going to ride, you know, we were all planning on riding out anyways. So me and Eric ended up getting to work a tag team match with Ian Rotten and his trainee at the time, Insane Lane.
Nice.
And it was it was funny because I was like, sweet, I get to meet these dudes without makeup. These guys were already in makeup by the time we got there because it was like 45 minutes before the show started.
Like you were already on your way to the show, just going to like watch the show, hang out kind of deal. And then you got called and asked if you wanted to work it instead.
Yeah. And
Nice.
Traxler's like, he got a phone call from JT and he's like, all right, who's got their gear? And I'm like, well, I do. Like, so the funny part is the gear that I had at the time, I used to wear tights that were like the zebra fringe, kind of like almost like Bruce the Barber Beefcake style.
Okay.
So I had a black and white pair and I had a red, white, and black pair. And Corp goes, listen, you guys are going to work a tag team, and the tag team that you guys are replacing tonight, they do a gay gimmick. They're called the Butt Pirates. He goes, so I need you guys to think of like a gay tag team name. And without skipping a beat, Eric was like Baloney Ponies. So we get announced as Baloney Ponies and come out, and you know everybody's like throwing like change at us and shit. Like there was one side of the ring where like I made sure to stay as close to the ring as possible because like it got a little weird.
As the baloney ponies. That's great, actually.
I don't think that's on the Caged website either, as far as tag team names go.
No, it just said you had the Brasky brothers and Bearded Bastards and Total Anarchy.
Yeah.
What's
But yeah,
that?
the
Probably the
JCW
greatest
show,
tag team name ever.
yeah.
I love it. Should bring him back.
I think we had tried to like we tried to do it one. I think we talked about it before,
It's just never.
like because they now they do the shows at the Gap, so they
Okay.
have wrestling. They don't really do the whole big tour thing anymore. It's just wrestling is part of the gathering.
Yeah, I saw that at Legend Valley.
Yeah. So I was like, man, maybe we could do the Baloney Ponies one more time, but
That'd be a perfect spot for it too. I've heard the gathering is a good time.
never been to one, but
Me neither. Look, and I'm not a fan of the Insane Clown Posse at all or ICP, but I totally want to go to a gathering just to experience it because I've heard it's fucking crazy, but I've also heard it's fucking awesome.
dude,
Same.
they're like, ICP is like one of those groups where it's like either people like them or hate them.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like a closet fan. Like I would listen to them, but never made it like public. And then when we worked the JCW show, like after the match, um, Violent J was behind the curtain because he was ring announcing. And me and Eric come back after the match, and like he shook our hand. He's like, "Oh man, thank you guys, appreciate it." Blah 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 blah. Like was like super cool the entire time.
That's cool.
Shaggy was downstairs. Like I didn't get to see Shaggy till they started their concert, but Violent J was like probably the coolest dude I ever met.
That's awesome.
That is actually
think
pretty cool.
I have that on my checklist to try to.
I've always remember, like obviously when it comes to wrestling and ICP, I think at WCW, the old school, them being in WCW when WCW was just trying to bring in stars to make things. So like, it wasn't bad. But then I remember they had a video game.
I was about to say, I think they had a video game.
They had a Juggalo Championship Wrestling video game or Backyard Wrestling.
I think it was called Backyard
It
Wrestling.
was called Backyard Wrestling.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, for like the PlayStation 1 or some shit like that.
Yeah. It was not a bad game either.
Yeah.
There's just weapons everywhere. You just beat the shit out of each other. It was great. I've had a lot of backyard wrestling matches in my time.
So I was really excited to ask you because Dean said your first match was a Texas death match or something like that. And obviously that's not true. So like what's the most like hardcore match you've ever been in? Have you ever done like a crazy style like stipulation match where like you're busted open bleeding and
I've done thumbtacks.
okay. They give me shivers.
I've done thumbtacks. I've done the dog collar match.
Okay.
What was some of the other ones? Oh, we used to do I don't think they've done it in a while just because of some of the buildings that we were running in. But we used to do for the October shows, we used to do a trick or treat match. And what that consisted of is there were four containers, one in each corner, and each container had some sort of like, barbed wire or thumbtacks or
some kind of trick or treat in it.
Yeah. So we used to run those pretty regularly for October shows. I don't think they've done them in a while, but those were fun shows. And then
we need to chirp in Brandon's ear and bring that back.
Right. And then I did, because I wanted to do it so bad after seeing the Kogars do it, I did do the skewers. That was fun.
Kogars love the skewers.
I'm really worried. Look, I've said this multiple times on the show since we've been talking about Night of Champions coming up, because obviously the Kogar brothers are coming. They're going to fight the Party Posse. I'm worried for Norm because he's been saying that he's so damn hardcore and he's so tough and like he's going to have things sticking out of his forehead. I'm worried. And like,
he's going to find out.
Yeah.
They're going to learn today. I'm curious. I have my thoughts on who might be their mystery opponent, mystery partner. I mean,
I do as well. We have guests going in as their mystery opponent.
Oh, the pig man.
Yeah, I think I might know who it is, but even without him, the Kogar brothers will whoop all their ass. they're in for some pain. So, what got you into wrestling? If you don't mind.
Let's see. 90. I want to say it was 90. My neighbor, his brother was a professional wrestler for the name of the promotion was Gen 1 Wrestling. They used to run shows like this was like the tail end of the territory stuff, but they would run like Lorraine, Detroit, and kind of loop back around through like Cleveland, and like they had their own little loop and stuff. But we actually went to a show there, and the main event was Jerry the King Lawler, and this was like one of his final shows before he actually he had just gotten signed to the Fed, but it was him versus Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was the main event. So that was a fun show to go to. Psycho Mike, when he was a really good worker, was on that show. Who else was on there? Like kind of if you knew who like the local guys were back then,
Yeah.
like Psycho Mike was on there. My neighbor's brother was on there. Uh, what was the name of the guy? Tony Paradise or something like that. He was like another local
Nice.
guy. Yeah. But so fast forward a couple years, me and my brother, uh, when he got transferred in the middle of junior high, when they changed the school lines, went from Northwood to Eastern Heights, and we met up with, uh, or he met a couple friends and stuff. So we started doing backyard wrestling.
Love backyard wrestling, dude.
I think we were talking about this on Facebook the other day on Elizabeth's status when she shared a picture of me and Sean share a mutual friend in Elizabeth, and she was talking about them. She hangs out with Ryan and shit when they were all young.
So there's a funny story to that article. But so we started doing backyard wrestling. We built like the most like unsafe, shabby looking ring in my backyard.
Is there
My mother,
pictures of this ring?
dude, no, but somewhere on a VHS there's video footage. But
Okay.
my mom was
There's footage somewhere.
yeah, it's floating around somewhere. Like my mom was none too pleased when, she walks in the backyard and sees like this death trap. But we ended up, yeah. So we ended up like uh at the time in Lorraine, there was a wrestling school called boxing wrestling school called Samson's Powerhouse.
I've heard
And
of that.
that's where kind of when Mega started doing their own thing, all the guys that were training like Cole, Traxler, Mad Dog was a part of that group. When they all started Mega, that's when, me, Blaze, and a couple other people were part of the original class. But we started renting the ring. It was like $5 a person, $50, I think $50 minimum or something like that for like 2 hours. And the guys were like, "Hey, instead of paying like $5 each week to like drop you guys, yourselves on your neck, why don't you like use that for training?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, let's do that." Like,
Yeah, so instead of giving them $5, you just paid them for a training class.
right, yeah. So we started learning our bumps and stuff there. And then when there was a split off and Traxxer and those guys started their own shit, which ended up becoming Mega, all the guys that were training then became part of the first like class for Mega. And that was when we moved over to Jamie's Flea Market. But that's how I ended up getting into it.
That's awesome.
That's
When you
all- yeah,
first
that is
started,
awesome.
though, taking those bumps for the first time, how'd your body feel?
Dude, it sucked because here's why. And the guy who ran the building, Jim Wittenberg, he had a stutter. So, but he was part of that Gen 1 wrestling group. He was the mercenary.
Okay.
He ran the place, but he had the ring set up and then he had wrestling mats. You didn't learn your bumps in the ring. You did them on the wrestling mat first.
Oh, okay. So real thin mats. Like you talk about like the blue gym mats.
Yeah.
Like the high school rollout wrestling mats.
Okay.
That's how we learned our bumps first, was essentially on the ground before we like started doing them in the ring.
F that. I used to wrestle in high school. There's not that much cushion on those mats.
No,
especially
not
on the
one bit.
floor.
Yeah. And then when you're falling on purpose, it seems to hurt even more.
I can imagine. Who's got the hardest chop you've ever wrestled against?
Hardest chop. Probably Chris Cole.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got like those hate chops where like somebody's gonna bleed.
Kind of like Walter.
Yeah.
I feel like what's Paxton. I feel like Paxton Calloway gives a pretty mean chop.
He might. I haven't gotten one from him.
That's a big boy.
Oh, that's a big
big.
hand coming across the chest.
I cave your chest in. Would you take one from him?
What's that?
Would you take one from Paxton?
Not on purpose.
I
Not willingly.
I would not either. What has been your favorite match of your career?
My favorite match was probably One of them was we did a gender reveal tag match.
Oh, that's cool.
We weren't sure how it was really going to work out because it was like it was teams of four. There was four of us for that had blue shirts on for the boys, and then there was four, so it was like an 8-man kind of thing. So we weren't sure like how much of a cluster fuck it was going to be.
Yeah.
But dude, it came out like the match was like super fun. It got over. One of the other that was for RAPW at Youngstown, and then
So
probably
you guys had the match at like one of their shows.
yeah. The chick that was the commissioner at the time,
She was pregnant.
she was pregnant, and like
Nice.
they, they gave her the results, but she kept them in the envelope because they didn't want to find out till the match.
Yeah.
So that's how they found out that they were having a boy.
Did you guys use like baby props and like weapons and stuff like? Because I've seen something like that on the internet before, but it was only like a one-on-one match. Like it was two dudes, one had a blue shirt, one had a pink shirt, and like they used a stroller and like were throwing inflatable baby bottles at each other. And
what's funny is the one that's been going around TikTok of the gender reveal of the two guys that were like
In the backyard.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah.
You know who the one dude is, right?
No.
It's oh come on, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but it's Kazarni.
No way.
oh, really?
What's his gimmick name now? I feel like an ass because I can't remember it.
I wouldn't even recognize it. I wasn't even.
Yeah, I wasn't even really paying attention. I was just kind of watching. Like, this is a cool idea.
Yeah.
I wasn't like I didn't pay attention to it either, and then I watched it again, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I know who that is." Like,
right? Like I know that guy.
but that the article that you were talking about. So this was in the process of us still doing backyard wrestling, right? So we get the journal to come out and write a story on us, which is funny because Dan Gillis has me blocked on Facebook now. But he comes out and does this story, and like we didn't think anything of it. Like we're like, yeah, we got a homemade ring. We do these shows in the rain. Blah 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 blah. Like it's very clear that this is a backyard wrestling promotion. He writes this article up as if we're like these professional wrestlers that just started like this
like training.
Yeah, we're this is an upstart company and all this, and like so Traxler and them actually were trying to do like the same thing. They wanted to get a newspaper article out about like the training center and stuff like that. And I guess they asked Jeff, they're like, well, what do you guys think about your competition? And Jeff goes, well, what competition? And they go, well, EHCW. And he goes, dude, they rent our ring for backyard shows. Like they're training with us. Like that's not real promotion.
It's not competition. Yeah, that's not another promotion.
Oh no.
I had a lot more hair back in that picture though.
You got hair?
You got a glorious beard now. I don't have much hair on the top either. It's the beard.
Yeah, everything that disappeared from up here is down here now.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question.
With you, bro.
I have a question for Jeff. Jeff. Do you still use the same finishing move? And if not, is your old finishing move still in your repertoire?
I do not use my old finisher. It was a weird submission kind of hold.
What's it called?
The electric chair.
Okay. Good name.
It was kind of like a leg lock arm kind of submission, kind of deal. But I've changed that up to I guess you could call it the F5.
Okay. So you're basically throwing an F5 out there these days?
Yeah.
I like it.
More power. That's how I like it.
Do you like submission finishers? Or do they kind of suck?
I do. Only because like I have I'm not like steeped in it, but I have a little bit of a martial arts background.
Okay.
So I did like Sanchow kickboxing and stuff like that, like back in like 2000. What would that have been? Like 2005. Um, my old boss was like a self defense, like martial arts instructor. So I got trained for free as long as I was the tackling dummy for his like self defense classes at the college. So like I tried to like incorporate a little bit of like the some of the martial arts stuff in there.
I used to do martial arts myself. I did some taekwondo.
What's your favorite finishing move or favorite submission move of all time? Like sharpshooter, Texas cloverleaf, ankle lock.
If you do the sharpshooter, you have to point at a flag. Like that's the rule. Whether it's American or Canadian, you have to point at a flag.
You got to.
We were talking about this last week. My favorite submission's always been a Texas cloverleaf. I don't know why. Like it was a Dean Malenko thing for me, and like it was always the Texas
1,000 holds.
It was the Texas cloverleaf was a badass finishing move.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think what my favorite one would be. I know it's controversial, but I love the cripple crossface.
Yeah.
Just because I know it's controversial because of Benoit.
No, it's not. It's a great finishing move.
It is a great finishing move.
We don't remember. We talked about this. We don't discriminate on this. This is a wrestling show. His wrestling accomplishments will be talked about. The other stuff, we just leave it over there.
Yeah. Who's your favorite heel and your favorite face of all time?
Ooh, that's a good question.
My favorite heel, and it's only because like he was the first one that I got to see live, and then like the stuff that he did in ECW when I like originally discovered ECW again was Eddie Gilbert.
Okay.
And you got to throw in Andy Kaufman too.
Yeah,
Andy Kaufman was a great bad guy.
he was.
I'm a Ultimate Warrior mark, so for good guys, I got to go Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Mike's the Ultimate Warrior guy myself.
I got to get a warrior tattoo yet.
I love my Ultimate, like, and it's messed up because I have my Ultimate Warrior tattoo because I love the message. Like I remember the Raw when he came out and gave the warrior quote and let you know be your best self, and then he died the next morning, and I was like, I had the warrior, like I cried, dude. And then like I watched the dark side of the ring on the warrior, and I'm like, man, he was an asshole.
Like he was such like an like now as an adult you look at it and go, wow, this guy
exactly. But as the child in me is happy that he's on my arm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 10-year-old me does not give a fuck what he acted like.
Exactly. He wanted to run to the ring and jump up and down and shake the ropes.
Well, at that time as a kid, man, he was just there was no one like him.
That energy was phenomenal.
And now I look back, like his wrestling set, like dude sucked in the ring. Like he didn't really have many moves he could use. He was very limited what he can do.
Gorilla press slam, that's it, baby.
Yeah, but he made it look good, dude. He did his thing. I'll give him that.
Right.
I just watched a video of Hulk Hogan in Japan. Hulk Hogan in Japan was completely different dude.
Hogan in Japan was different. Andre the Giant in Japan was different. Like
Vader
was a bad dude, man.
And this is why, like, I love, like, I haven't really kept up with it much, but I love Japanese wrestling because, like, they actually let those guys fucking like
the strong style. That's legitimately the thing. Like it's when Shinsuke first came over in NXT, he was throwing strong style wrestling, and it was way better than anything he's doing now. And he's just
yeah, like now, like especially like when Vince was in charge, like everything was very controlled. Everything was very like had to be this way. And then like you said, like you watch tapes of like Hogan and all those guys in Japan, and I mean those guys were like putting on like great shows.
I was seeing Hogan doing moves and like jumping around doing shit I'd never seen him do in WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once Vince was in control, he watered down a lot of talent. Where would you rank MJF though? As far
as top heels like of all time so far? That's a great question because I think MJF is a phenomenal bad guy.
Dude, he's top 3.
Yeah, agreed. I agree 110%. He is glorious. He be telling reporters to fuck off. He don't care.
He was doing it. He was doing it at the Willard show for Old Wrestling. Like his gimmick at Old Wrestling was he was a professional golfer.
Okay, perfect.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
But
Perfect.
dude, even then, like he just like we're in between shows and shit, and like he's just like people are walking by and like, oh hey, and he's like, essentially telling them to like go fuck off and like just completely stayed like the
He's always,
MJF.
yeah, he's always in character from what I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so let's get back to this Crown Prince Battle Royal that you're going to be in this weekend. Do you have any strategies you want to let us in on? Little game plan you got going? Because you said
said
you don't
earlier,
know
don't
what
get winded earlier.
you don't know what number you're coming in, but you could come in dead last and get the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble here.
My goal is to just try to manpower and throw as many people over as I possibly can.
I mean, looking at the field, you are the most seasoned veteran in the Crown Prince Battle Royal, so you do have the veteran advantage going for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody out of the ring for me.
Me and Sheiky. I'll throw somebody out on your side there for you, Dean.
Yes. Love it. I can't wait. This Saturday's gonna be a blast. I ain't got anything else for you, man.
I can't
Thank
wait,
you for
man.
coming on. I appreciate it, brother. You got anything else for him, Mike?
I don't, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. We appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you this weekend. I mean, I'm sure we'll try to link up with you before the show.
Go Brownies.
And yeah, go Browns.
Oof.
It was ugly, but
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
I do. Hey, we got a win streak going on, my friend.
That's right. 2 in a row, baby.
Hey, at least the defense showed up.
We need him to show up again next week, but we all know that Miles owns Joe Burrow, so
I got a feeling
you're thinking Joe Burrow's finally going to get one off on us?
I think so.
I got a feeling I don't know. I got a feeling they'll end up sitting Miles next week.
Really?
Because they were talking to him, I think it was like at halftime, and they were saying like his arm was like really bothering him. But, when you flip a Porsche over in Medina, that'll happen.
He's way too big to be in that little ass Porsche.
Dude. Listen, say what you want about foreign cars or whatever, but for that big ass dude to be in that car wreck and
not get hurt.
And not get hurt, but B, when you look at pictures of the car, just the front end is really the only thing that got damaged. So those cars are built solid.
Oh yeah, I have a Volkswagen and those things are solid.
All right, Jeff. Well, thank you so much, man, for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Like I said, we will see you this Saturday.
Oh yeah.
We will be back. Let the people know.
All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and with us is the one and only mega heavyweight champion, Ashton Day. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm really excited for this weekend.
Me too.
Ladies, and big title match coming up against Zoe Sky. I'm excited. My favorite title matches in Mega Championship Wrestling involve you and Trey and Zoe.
Yeah.
Those were fantastic matches. I was there up front for all of them, man. So I'm pumped to see you guys put on a show.
I'm pumped to put on a show with her,
I know you were sitting there preparing for Jackson Stone, but unfortunately wasn't able to make it. What's your game plan with Zoe this time? I know on such short notice.
I mean, my game plan is to just treat it like any other match. I know how much Zoe Sky can surprise a lot of people with just her raw talent in the ring. She's a world-traveled athlete, and a lot of people probably take her lighter because of her smaller stature, but she's a comeback girl. So, I mean, I got to watch out for her just as much as I'd have to watch out for somebody like Jackson Stone. So,
yeah, she definitely gave Trey a bigger run for his money than I thought she was gonna. Like I was like,
than anybody.
I had never seen Zoe up to that point, like maybe 1 or 2 matches, and her and Trey killed it that night, and she scored a fan me for sure.
Killed it.
So I got some stuff here, and I wrote down, like you won the title from Trey on April 30th Today is actually day 218 for you as mega champion. So my number one question for you is how difficult has it been to balance family time and champion time, career time? Because clearly you got to do stuff like this. Clearly, you got to be out here promoting yourself and trying to get your career going. But, I know that you also have a family. So how difficult has it been to like find that balance?
It's been extraordinarily easy.
Good. That's good to hear.
I give all the credit in the world to my fiance for being as supportive as she is. And then I just have a really solid work ethic, and I understand. I sacrifice a lot of my personal time, but that's without any ill will toward it. I mean, I'm more than willing to do that because I love my career.
You have a goal.
Yeah, I have goals, but I love my career and I love my family. So it's not like it's not a chore to do any of it. It's just what I want to do.
Excellent.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, that's
You've
cool
had a
because I
phenomenal
do
year,
know.
man.
Yeah, you've had a great year. I went
Yeah.
back, over the course of the week, like I said, we've been promoting you coming on all week. So I went through and watched all your matches, especially you winning the title going back against Trey. And I wanted to bring this up, and I don't really have another way to bring it up, but it's my favorite moment on the YouTube video. At the very end, you're walking away with the title, and there's me getting a selfie, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm not taking a selfie with you. I got one anyways, though. So it was a good one. So.
Well, no, I did that on purpose. I waited until I noticed you took the picture.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You were like, nope. It was good, man. It was a really good moment. I couldn't believe it made the YouTube video. It made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know it was you until I met you.
Okay.
And then when I went back and watched it, I'm like, oh, that was him.
Oh shit.
That's awesome. So you've appeared on AEW Dark, and then
I did.
you've been wrestling for Circle 6 as well. I got to see you wrestle in person for Circle 6. You did a great showing. I'm proud of you, man.
Right now, yeah.
Circle
That
6
was
is
the one
great.
in Cleveland.
Yeah. I've worked twice for them in Cleveland and then in Detroit. And we're working on bringing me back for one of their upcoming shows eventually.
What's that Detroit crowd like?
Not Cleveland friendly.
I'd imagine. I almost went to that show as well.
They didn't accept me. I had to win them over for sure. The second they heard from Cleveland, Ohio,
it was booze all day.
I was fighting an uphill battle.
How many different cities have you wrestled in?
Ah, man, I've wrestled in quite a few.
Is it mostly just like Ohio based? I mean, or is it like states? I should have said states. Like how many different states have you been in?
Primarily Ohio, but I've been to Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan. Yeah, more so the surrounding states.
Okay.
I just traveled out to Iowa for Wrestling Revolver, just to kind of network, get my face out there, and hopefully I'll be on a show eventually.
I'm very familiar with Wrestling Revolver. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, like Dean was saying, we did see you, especially us, and I Facebook tweeted it out. I'm trying to make sure your face is seen out there. You wrestled Powerhouse Hobbs on Rampage on August 26th. I mean, I don't even think you got a move of offense in.
I don't. Well, yeah, I didn't wrestle him.
He just kind of threw you around a little bit and pinned you. I mean,
yeah.
But still, Ashton Day was on the TV. Your name was on the banner. I mean, I was proud to see you on the TV. I've seen a couple AEW stars on the TV. AIW stars from our local surrounding area have been on AEW multiple times. It's cool to see local guys that I watch wrestle, coming up,
yeah,
being on the big stage. That's really freaking cool.
How was that experience?
Man, it was great. It was great. I
gave me up for
bag of
potato chips and sent me on my way. They didn't want me around anymore. And I made it a point that every time I saw them, I was going to remind them
hours before the
who
show,
I was that they gave up. And it's going to be the same way with the Indians. And I still have great relationships with the guys over there. And it's still a great ball team with one of the greatest managers in the game of baseball. So I mean, it's going to be fun competing against them. I want to shove it down their throat. Yeah, for sure.
The day before the
So,
show.
I mean, I got my first win against the Angels, who gave me up for.
I had misread the email.
Bag of potato chips to sit me on my way. They didn't want me around anymore.
And I got the wrong
I made it
COVID
a point
test.
that every time I saw them, I was going to remind them
who
I was that they gave up.
I was going to be able to do the show, but
I still.
Instead, I just went and I scheduled the test at Rite Aid, because you had to do the one that gets sent to a lab. And I just had to hope I got my results back in time. And technically, I didn't get my results back in time. But once I did get my results, the check-in time for us ended at 1:30, and I got my results back at 12:54.
I was gonna say, this is gonna be one of those things we got them back at like 1:26 or something like that, like right before.
Yeah, actually, one check-in time ended at 1:15. That's what it was. Check-in ended at 1:15, and I got my results back at 12:54, and it's a half-hour drive to the venue, so I never would have made it on time, but I just went anyway. You
just chanced it, like hoping they show up. That's awesome though. That's cool.
And once I showed up, I called the producer and said, "Hey, I'm here. I got my results back," because I communicated with him that I misread the email, but I got the test and all that, so he knew what was up. And he said, "Sure, just come on in." And
I remember they had like the rapid test or whatever that they could give you the results in 15 minutes, and you needed those to like go to concerts and stuff, because I had to get a couple of those to go to shows.
Yeah.
So like when you were at AEW, did you obviously like meet other superstars backstage, like get any advice from them maybe?
I mean, I met pretty much any signed talent on the roster you can think of.
That's awesome.
For the most part there. I actually went through the roster afterwards on their site, and there was very few that weren't there.
All right. Now, is there anyone that you fangirled out about? Like when you saw them, you were like, oh shit. Like for me, it probably would have been the Bucks. I've always been a Bucks fan. So like if I were to see Matt and Nick, I'd have been like, oh shit, that's the Young Bucks right there. You know, like
I think I wouldn't say I fangirled, but I was blown away when I saw Goldust or
Dustin. Okay. Yeah, legend, that's for sure.
He is legitimately like 9 feet tall.
Just a huge guy.
Yeah, I was not expecting him to be as tall as he was. I mean, he's easily 6'5", 6'6". I mean, just gigantic.
I actually just saw something today, I think on Twitter, that he announced that his 2023 is going to be his last year in wrestling. He's going to retire.
Yeah, I didn't read that either. Another one too was William Regal. He was so much. I mean, just a giant mass of a man.
Really?
His head, his hands, his body.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't think that seeing him on TV. You wouldn't think he's a bigger guy.
He's gigantic, man. It really caught me off guard.
We just heard rumors that he may be headed back to WWE, so that should be interesting.
Yeah. It should be very interesting. And I'd say, I mean, because I met everybody. I introduced myself to mostly everybody. Sting introduced himself to me as Randy Savage. I thought that was really funny.
That's hilarious.
By far, surprisingly, based on like how he, like the stigma surrounding him, the absolute nicest person there was Sammy Guevara.
Really? Oh, I believe that though. I believe that. I love Sammy. He's one of my favorites in AEW.
He actually was the only one who came up to me and said hi to me. And when he did it, he like saw me from afar and made a point to like come to me and like shook my hand and like treated me like he'd known me for years.
That's awesome. That's cool. Make you feel welcome and shit like that. That's cool.
You were really welcome. It was really cool.
That's great. Yeah, he gets a bad rap for sure, especially lately.
He does.
No, I have another question for you. It is, kind of going here, like maybe somebody did talk to you while you were at AEW, but like, what's the best advice you've ever gotten regarding your career from somebody else? Be it, I know Brandon was your main trainer, if I read correctly.
Yeah.
Be it from him or, somebody at AEW when you made your appearances there, or another show that just happened to have somebody there that just gave you some awesome advice that like resonated with you. Like, Yeah, that's it.
That's a really tough question. I don't know. I think it wasn't necessarily someone giving me advice, but it was something that I noticed early on that I was doing that I had to fix, and I think it was the biggest help for me.
Okay.
I stopped focusing on the I stopped focusing on what moves I'm doing them and started focusing on why I'm doing them.
Okay, so stop focused on what moves you're doing and then focused on why you were doing them.
I think that's a very common thing that, you know, when you're new to the business, you're like, I gotta have the coolest moves and sequences and what you know, the coolest finisher and all this stuff. And I was definitely on that boat for a while, and then I just started to focus more and more on storytelling. Well, I guess in a way it was watching a Tommaso Ciampa seminar. He was talking about storytelling, and he was telling a story about William Regal, and something that he did in a lockup. And it was a very small detail where he locked up with somebody. I think he said he locked up with Finlay. And when they broke the lockup, William Regal started like selling his ear.
Okay.
And it was, and I thought that was really interesting because you're really like grinding in those lockups, and like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
So,
why wouldn't your ear hurt a little bit or something?
Yeah. And just think that really like stuck with me too, was just those small details really matter, and that's what I've been focused on the most.
I will 100% agree with you. So
Dean
and I are a little bit older than you, but when I was younger, watching, you know, Attitude Era type stuff, it was the big moves for me. That shit mattered. Now, as I'm older, I prefer a good wrestling sequence over anything. Like, I don't want to see nothing super flashy. Sure, it's cool, but when you guys lock up down to the ground, have a nice wrestling sequence, that's class. I like that. It's real good. It shows skill.
I've learned to appreciate long-term storytelling as well.
Exactly, and long-term storytelling is A1. So
just
like you're saying,
that's something that's very hard to find on the independent wrestling. But I get it, because most promotions run shows monthly. People have short attention spans. It's pretty difficult, and like, you having a rotating roster, it's not like you can guarantee the same people every time.
Exactly.
So it's not like something that bothers me, but I love finding promotions that put thought into the stories that they're telling.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely makes sense. And I mean, I like Tuesday Turmoil because I feel like it does keep those little storylines going that Mega has going. It's absolutely, it's awesome. I love it. I've said it to, we work for OCW. We kind of do like camera work and stuff for OCW out in Akron. And I've told them the same thing. Like, dude, like a weekly show, like get a couple wrestlers together, have a match or two. And I know you can't get everybody the same all the time, but if to kind of keep people's memory fresh, I think it would help out.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
The small details like that. Yeah, I think that's great.
So speaking on this Saturday coming up, you have a match with Zoe Sky. Do you have any pre-match rituals that you do every match? Certain song you listen to like get yourself ready to go, or is Ken just in your ear getting you ready?
I actually don't have any pre-match rituals.
Really?
Maybe I should find one. I really don't. I do like to, on the way to the show, listen to my theme song.
Okay.
Kind of that kind of really gets me into the zone, and really think helps me focus on my character.
Picture your walk out in your head and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just
I feel it.
That's what gets me going. That's probably the only thing I can think of that's remotely a ritual. Every time I'm on my way to a show, I listen to my theme song.
I feel like I would do that too if I was a wrestler. Like, I can see exactly why you do that. and that would work. That would work. Like you just hear your song, you envision yourself going back out there, and kind of get you mentally ready.
I mean, I'm not even a wrestler, but I can say that like I have a playlist that when I work out, it has wrestling songs on it because that's how it makes me feel. Like when Triple H's song comes on, you know what I'm saying? And you're pumping a weight or something, you want to look like you want to feel like you look like Triple H walking down the ramp.
I am playing the game. Exactly.
So yeah, I totally get that. That's what's up. Another question I had here: if you weren't going to be a pro wrestler, if it wasn't on the table at all, what would you want to do with your life, man? What would your secondary dream be?
My other career path was always music.
Okay. I did see you play a little guitar. I saw that on your Instagram, playing a little guitar.
Yeah. I before wrestling, I did a lot of cool things with music. I headlined musicals at Playhouse Square.
Nice.
Yeah, I was the lead role in Memphis the Musical, and then I was in Kiss Me Kate. And then I was in a boy band that the boy band was started by the person who started NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, Lou Pearlman.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Kind of a controversial name for the things he did, but I mean, yeah, I was in his final boy band before he passed away. I was on American Idol when I was 15.
Really?
So I didn't find any of this stuff. So like earlier when we were talking to Jeff Jevic, he was telling us about this Cage Side Seats page that apparently follows the indies, and they have Ashton on there. They have nothing for you. Like
I know, yeah.
They have you from Cleveland, Ohio, and they nothing.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too because
I had to deep dive to find the information that I found out.
Yeah, because I don't even have a profile.
Yeah.
I saw my matches at Circle 6 and whatnot, and the other people like you can click their profile, but my name was just black.
Yep. Text, it just says your name. Yeah. It doesn't click to a link or nothing for your profile. And I was like, this is so yeah, like I said, I went back and I watched all your matches with Casey and the match with Trey, and I was going back and watching Circle 6.
American Idol, what was that experience like?
Which one?
American Idol.
Yeah, American Idol.
It was pretty brief. Yeah. But it was fun. It was definitely fun. It was the year that they announced it was going to be their final season, and then what they really did was just take a year off. Okay. So I thought like, this is my last chance, and I was just was I I was either 15 or 17. I can't remember, but either way, I just wasn't ready for that kind of platform yet. But I did pretty well, and then I got eliminated, and that was that. Did you get to meet Simon? No, they weren't the judges. Oh, this was the Jennifer Lopez and Henry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is that era.
Do you still play and write songs and your free time just to keep up?
Yeah, and actually, I'm getting back into it a lot because the reason I stopped was the pressure I felt focusing on it as a career. Okay, I felt very insecure about it. I'm a self-deprecating perfectionist, and those two traits don't go well together at all.
No, they do not.
So it was very, very hard for me to put my content out there and trust that it would be well received. And it got to a point where the anxiety about it was so bad, it was making me like not want to do it. Yeah, it was turning it into a chore, and it was making me like nauseous and physically sick just to put a song out into the world. So I decided to step away from it and focus full time on wrestling because I've never felt that way with wrestling. For some reason, my brain understands, just as much as music is subjective, wrestling is also subjective. But for some reason, my brain can only wrap its head around wrestling being subjective, and that someone has a differing opinion on wrestling. I can just say, oh, you just didn't understand what I did. That's your fault. Yeah, it's your fault. But now that I'm so focused and ingrained into wrestling full time, I can focus on music as a hobby, and I don't feel that pressure. I can just
that's cool.
Doing it.
Kind of like reignite that love for it.
Yeah, that's really what it's been doing. And I've been working on some stuff. Hopefully I can get it made and recorded. I lost all of my studio equipment's outdated and doesn't work anymore. So I gotta.
Well, you let me know. I got a buddy who does producing down out in Lorraine. We'll hook you guys up together. I'll let you talk to him. Right. He's Matt, my boy Matty. He's coming to the show with me on Saturday, I believe.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you let me know. We'll talk about that for sure. He'll put you in the producing studio. He's got all that shit.
All right.
And I'm sure music as well is like probably therapeutic for you. So I'm sure that helps.
It definitely is. I mean, I know I don't play music, but I know that like certain songs and shit, when I'm feeling a certain way, music just hits different for me. And there's a word there's like one of those, I can't think of it, that's something that describes it, people that experience emotion through music. And I definitely feel like I'm one of those people because certain songs will just hit me different than I feel other people.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. You feel very deep emotion from it.
All right, so I got one more question, and I got a couple questions, but we chose a top 5, and you are going to participate in our top 5 with us. So one of my questions is we're gonna go over that in the top 5. What's your favorite wrestling match that doesn't involve yourself?
Man, I had my answer too, and I don't remember now. I remember what I was going to say. The match that always just stuck out to me.
I thought about this myself, and it's hard. It's tough. There's so many good matches.
So many good matches, man. This is tough. One match that I really liked as a kid, and has always stuck with me was the 2006 Royal Rumble.
Is that the one John Cena came back at the end?
No, it was 8. Oh,
that was 08.
This is when Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Oh, after Eddie passed,
and then he went on to win, and then he went on to win for Eddie.
Yeah, that match has always been something has always been my favorite. In terms of a wrestling match and not like a gimmick match like a Royal Rumble. Oh man, probably anything with Shawn and Brett.
Ooh,
see, that's my favorite match of all time is the ladder match at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. It'll always be one of my favorite matches. It's
anything like going back even further, like anything with Dusty Rhodes and Flair, or anything with Nick Bockwinkel. I love Nick Bockwinkel.
Okay.
The Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler.
See, that stuff hits close to home for me because I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. So I grew up watching Memphis Pro Wrestling on Sunday morning at like 9 a.m. with Jerry Lawler was like the head honcho. Brian Christopher was the heavyweight champion. They had K Quick, who was R-Truth, was there. He's a young guy. Like I remember all these dudes on Saturday morning. Like I went to a show when I was probably like 7 or 8 and watched Jerry Lawler throw K Quick into the Mississippi River because it was at like a festival on the lake or on the river. And it was Jerry Lawler. I will always be one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah. That's definitely like what my favorite like story of all time was the Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, that's classic of all time. It is for sure.
Still to this day, it can hold its own up against anything else.
Yeah. And then like anything involving Eddie, Kurt Angle.
Kurt was great.
Oh yeah.
TNA Kurt or WWE Kurt?
Both.
Yeah.
WWE
Kurt Angle and TNA.
If I had to pick one.
Yeah. If you're making me pick one, it's WWE Kirk. But Kurt Angle just is A1 all across the board, in my opinion.
Yeah. So our top 5 this week, we are doing top 5 wrestlers.
top 5 wrestlers of all time. Can be any promotion of anything, but the way it works.
Okay, are you
like a draft?
Yeah, it's like a draft. So if I pick, let's say I pick, Ken Shamrock, you can't pick Ken Shamrock.
Is it are we doing top 5 great who, like, in my opinion, the top 5?
If you're making a Survivor Series team right now, you can pick 5 people. They can be dead or alive. Your favorite top 5.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
like,
your favorite.
Am I basing it on my favorite?
Yep.
Or greatest?
No, your favorite.
Your favorite.
My favorite list is going to get their fucking ass kicked in any Survivor Series match. Like, they're going to get destroyed.
All right, well, we're going to let you go first. So who are you taking with your number 1 overall draft pick?
Oh man, number 1.
I'm excited for this
pick, and you guys are going to not believe me, but in my biggest inspiration growing up, my favorite wrestler growing up, pretty much the wrestler who made me one of the 2 wrestlers who made me fall in love with wrestling as much as I have, Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yes. Too cool.
I applaud that. I love Scotty 2 Hotty.
This was post Too Cool. This is the ruthless aggression Scotty. That's what I grew up with, at least. But then I always used to go back and watch his older stuff too.
That's actually that's a great first pick because has a great story behind it. I mean, Scotty 2 Hotty, like I was telling you earlier, I loved Brian Christopher growing up. So Too Cool was really cool to me. I always loved the Worm, etc. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, when they brought Rikishi in, they would do
I was just about to say one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments is when they entered like 1, 2, and 4 in the Royal Rumble and they all danced. That was a good one.
I think 2000.
Dean, you can go second. Go ahead, bud.
I'm sure Mikey, you know who mine's going to be.
I know who it is. He's a bald-headed bastard.
Yeah. Stone Cold has always been my favorite wrestler growing up. I love that dude. So I have to go with the Rattlesnake.
All right. Stone Cold's basically my dad. Growing up, my dad always used to get compared to Stone Cold.
Really?
Bald head, goatee, drinking beers all the time.
Yup.
There it is. I mean, Dean, I'm sure you know who mine is. Number 1 overall. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. He's involved in my favorite match, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Number 1 draft pick.
Right.
Okay.
It's always going to be Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Your second round pick.
Oh, man, my second one.
If Ashton keeps going crazy, I think I'm going to start going a little bit crazier with like my favorite.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean,
yeah,
I like
it's really
stupid wrestlers, bro.
I like stupid wrestlers too, though. I got some. I'm down.
Stupid wrestlers, because you're going to make me sit here and say the Brian Kendrick or something.
The Brian Kendrick is good, man.
And that 08, the Brian Kendrick was my shit.
Oh yeah. I heard he was coming back to WWE in like a producer role.
Really?
It's possible.
Yeah, because they were giving him shit because of his comments or whatever. He made what people digging on Twitter and shit.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, not about him coming back. I would say my second pick. I'm split between 2 people. I'll go with Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, my arch rival.
Yeah,
I like it.
The arch rival. Okay.
The arch rival. My next one, I think I will have to go with Bam Bam Bigelow. I love Bam Bam back.
I was gonna say, don't you have Bam Bam shorts on today?
I do have Bam Bam shorts on today from Chalkman.
He's probably one of my favorite big men because he was always super freaking agile, dude. He was cool. Like, I remember my mom and dad showing me Bam Bam Bigelow doing like cartwheels and shit in the ring.
I think Bam Bam might be my favorite big man.
Yeah.
It's like a toss up between Vader and Bam Bam.
I was gonna say it's him and Vader for me because Vader was in Boy Meets World.
But I'd probably lean towards Bam Bam. At that time, like back then, you've never seen a big guy like that doing flips off the top rope and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And he had a tattoo on his head. He was just like, he just looked like a bad dude. And he was.
I couldn't get a tattoo on my head.
Yeah, I couldn't do a head tattoo.
All right, number 2. Do I want to go off-putting? No, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it to the guy behind me, CM Punk.
Yeah,
CM Punk the wrestler, not CM Punk the person, because apparently he's an asshole too.
Okay. I'll.
There's so many wrestlers. It's like vague. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's impossible.
These are tough.
I'll go with Rob Van Dam.
Ooh, that's a good one. RVD's a good pick. I got a very gimmicky pick. I think I'm going to go with for number 3 because I'm
probably going to shock you right here, but I'm going to go with Johnny Gargano with my 3rd pick.
Ooh, Johnny G. I love Johnny G.
I love me some Johnny G. I love Tommaso Ciampa too, man.
I'm still trying to get out to Gargano's Pizza.
Years back, this is still one of my favorite storylines.
The whole between them two, the DIY storyline.
Yeah, everything leading up to them, the titles and all that. Like, yeah, just the whole feud between those two. Beautiful.
All right, my 3rd pick. This is an off the top. He's a random one, but he was always one of my favorites. Eugene.
Eugene.
I loved Eugene.
Awesome.
I mean, it was very un-PC how they did Eugene, but it was hilarious and it was great.
I thought you were going to say Carlito.
Carlito's good. Carlito, have you seen Carlito lately? That man looks like he's built like a brick shithouse.
He's jacked.
He's in the best shape of his life.
My 4th, I think I'll go with Booker T.
Good pick. Good pick. I got a WCW for my 4th as well.
I do too. I'm about to take him right now. Scott Steiner.
Nope, you're not, Big Papa Dump. You're not. I am taking a good one too, though. That's a good pick.
He can't though, Mike. He picked. He has 2nd pick.
Well, he got Scott Steiner.
Steiner.
That's a good one, man.
Like, when he rocked the mullet, man.
Like old school Scott Steiner.
Right?
Like the inventor of the Frankensteiner.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Scott Steiner back in the day was a bad man.
I got another WCW. I wouldn't call him a WCW legend, but I definitely call him an ECW legend. I'm going to go with Raven.
Ooh.
Raven, okay.
I'm going to go with Raven.
Raven was different.
I don't know, man. This is the last one.
Last pick.
Who do I like? I was 100% sure who I was going to say for my 5th pick because I think he'd be the most surprising. But I don't know if I want to use him as a 5th pick anymore.
You can have an honorable mention.
Okay, I'll have an honorable mention. Then my 5th pick is Enzo Amore.
Yes! The smack talker Skywalker.
I loved Enzo Amore so much.
Dude, me too.
Yeah. He's so good on the mic. I love it.
When my daughter was little, she used to walk around spelling SAWFT.
Yeah. He's improved so much in the ring too. I keep up with him. I have him on Instagram, like I follow him on Instagram and whatnot, and I'm always keeping up with like what he's doing. And he's improved a lot in the ring too.
What's his is it NZO? Is that what he goes by now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the NWO. Like he's got
the real one. I like it.
All right, Dean, pick number 5. And then who's your honorable mention?
I'd say my honorable mention would be kind of split between Randy Savage and Jeff Hardy.
Okay. That's a good one. Jeff Hardy was always a good one for me growing up. I'm not the biggest Randy Savage fan.
You're not?
No.
No.
Like I love the gimmick, just as it was the wrestler. He just, the storyline, the Miss Elizabeth storyline, glorious. just as a wrestler, it wasn't it for me. But again, I like the Ultimate Warrior, so what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, right. And obviously nothing.
All right, Dean, pick number 5.
Randy Orton.
Fuck you.
And I'm really sad if we don't get to see him wrestle ever again.
Yeah, that's
He got his back fused, right?
yeah, something like that. They said he might not ever wrestle again. I would love him to see him come back in a managerial role and take on Matt Riddle.
Ooh.
And like be Matt Riddle's manager and guide him to a heavyweight title. That would be cool.
That would be cool. My honorable mention, I would have to go with I'm gonna go with Malachi Black.
Okay. Aleister Black.
I almost said Aleister.
All right. My honorable mention, I'm going to go with he was the most cringiest wrestler to me growing up. And Ashton was talking about him earlier because he's glorious. I'm going Goldust as my honorable mention.
Okay.
Well, did you give us your 5th?
I'm about to right now.
Okay.
So you're getting an honorable mention out the way?
Yeah, getting the honorable mention out the way. Pick number 5. It's the 6-1. It's the 619 leg drop for me. Pick number 5 is my boy Ashton Day right there.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, those are all solid squads, man. Those are great.
That was
picks.
A lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
It was very vague. That's why it was good. It left it open to interpretation.
Yeah, another one I liked a lot growing up that like was my favorite was Shelton Benjamin.
He is so under
regular Shelton Benjamin or the gold standard Shelton Benjamin. Like when he dyed his hair white.
I like that too, but I'd say like 05 Intercontinental Championship,
like Money in the Bank, running up the ladder, Shelton and shit.
Yeah, like post World's Greatest Tag Team.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Even pre World's Greatest Tag Team, like 03.
Well, I was really hoping he was gonna kind of get a run when he came back with the Hurt Business, man. I loved the Hurt Business, though.
I'm still mad they split them up.
Yeah, they did. It didn't last as long as they should have at all.
They definitely had potential.
All right, man. Well, we're super looking forward to seeing you this Saturday, facing off against Zoe Sky. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to hear and still champion Ashton Day.
No doubt in mine either.
I'm excited to see. We got Cash Inc. coming back to defend the tag team titles. We haven't seen Gavin in a while. He was out doing his thing, so that's really cool. He's back. The whole squad's back together, man. Cash Inc. is at full strength at Night of Champions.
Yeah, they definitely are. We'll see how that goes,
So thanks a lot for joining us, man. We definitely liked having
you. We're going to be rooting for you on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Definitely. We'll see you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you Saturday.
Definitely.
All right, much love.
Later.
And we are back. Thank you, Ashton Day and Jeff Jeffick, for joining us. It was unbelievable time. We're ready for Night of Champions, as you can tell.
It's going to be a phenomenal show.
And we got some picks.
We got to make picks. We have the newly crowned Piledriver champion, the big dog Dean Samples over there. You are the champ for the first time, and you are ready to defend in the month of December.
I am.
The first event is Mega Night of Champions. Let's go ahead and get into the card and make these picks real quick. So starting it off, you have a tag team title match, main event versus Cash Inc., the champions. I'll let you have the first pick, my guy.
I'm going to go with Cash Inc.
You're going to go with Cash Inc. Okay. I'll let you have it. We're not gonna go through. I don't want to pick against Cash Inc. because I think they're going to take it, but we could go the other way. All right. Which match do I want to pick for? Oh, I know. I'm going to pick we got a no disqualification 6-man tag team match, the Party Posse and Norm versus the Kogar brothers and a mystery partner. Obviously, I'm going with the returning mega legends, the Kogar brothers, to stick skewers in Norm's forehead. It's going to happen. Do you want to play rock, paper, scissors, or do you just want to accept it?
I'll accept it.
Next match.
How I feel.
Do you want me to get? I don't know which match you want. I don't want to just do you dirty like that and just give you a crappy match. So here, I'll let you pick this one. This is a good one. We got a bull rope match. The bull rope bully, Mike Michaels, going one-on-one with the head of Mega Championship Wrestling, Brandon Xavier.
I'm gonna go with my boy Brandon, man.
Okay, as much as I want to go with Brandon, something about this says that Mikey Michaels is gonna do something off the wall is gonna happen with this bull rope, and I think Mike Michaels is gonna pull away and take this victory.
You think so?
I think so. As much as I don't want to pick against Brandon, I love Brandon, great guy, but I'm worried for him in this match. I don't think he was ready to accept this challenge. He got baited into it by Mike Michaels on Tuesday Turmoil. I don't know, man. I'm worried because it could go crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Next match, we've had this crazy storyline going on between these two. You got the Infinite Man TIM versus Bryson Teller, jacket on a pole match. I don't know who I want to go with this in this one because at the last show, we saw Bryson almost pull out a victory against TIM, and then TIM jacket got him again. I think I want to say that Bryson gets the jacket and makes the reconciliation happen right here at Night of Champions.
I think you're right.
We're gonna rock it. I'm picking Bryson.
I'm not doing any rocks for this one.
Oh, you're going TIM?
Yep.
Okay.
No rock, paper, scissors for Night of Champions for me.
All right. You heard it here. No rock, paper, scissors for Night of Champions. Coming up next, it's your pick. I'll give you a good one. The Fighting Spirit Championship. You got the returning Defarge taking on the champ LSD.
I'm going to go with Defarge.
You're going to go with Defarge. Okay, I will agree with your no rock, paper, scissors, and we'll take Lenny for the retention. Oh, man. All right. Next match. This is my pick. I'm going to go with this one. We got Crummels, JVM, Blaze, Brennan, and Arg the Pirate versus the Mega Church, Butchie B, Sebastian LaShawn, Pastor CeeLo, Raven, and a mystery partner. I'm gonna go with my boy Butchie B and the Mega Church, and we're gonna praise the Mega Church at Night of Champions.
Okay.
Which leaves you with Crummels and JVM and Blaze and the Brood 2.0 and Arg the Pirate. Next matchup, you have a triple threat match for the Infinity Championship. This match is going to be a banger. Big Mo will be defending his title against Bill Collier and Tyreek Kalam.
I think I'm going to go with Tyreek.
Oh, you. Okay, I'll let you have it. Based on storyline motif, I haven't seen Bill Collier around enough to know that he deserves a title. So I'm going to give Big Mo the retention.
Okay.
I'm really excited right now, though, because do you remember what you said? You said no rock, paper, scissors. That's my pick. Ashton Day versus Zoe Sky. Ashton Day, baby.
Okay.
And then, you can pick whoever you want for the Crown Prince Battle Royal, who you got. I can read off the participants that have been listed, but it also says, as I was looking earlier, that 7 trainees will also be introduced in the Mega Battle Royal. So I don't know if there have been people
we can make guesses, but I don't know. Should we put a point on it?
Yeah, we can put a point on it. Your pick might win. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. We got Victor Vale. I know we got. Oh, hold on. That's not it. That's the Koger brothers. Well, that was right here.
I'm gonna
Here we
go
go.
Jeff
We got DLA, Sheikh Abdul Hassan, the mega trainee, the ageless wonder Jeff Jevic, Mad Dog Manson, Cisco Silver, Steampunk Misery, Baby Lotion Brown, and Don Tavio.
Actually, give me a Cisco Silver.
Dean's going with Cisco. I'm going to go with Don Tavio.
Okay.
And the picks are in for the month of December. Mega Night of Champions is going to be a bomb-ass show this Saturday at LCCCC. I don't really have anything else. I mean, other than that, like I said, I want a Mega Night of Champions, Lorraine County College Community Fieldhouse, December 10th. Doors are at 4:30. The show starts at 5.
You see right here. Got OCW coming up in January. Stay tuned for that. Battle for the Crown. Wait for more announcements. We'll be breaking them here.
As soon as we know, you will know.
Yep. As soon as OCW posts them, we'll let you know as well. Shout out to our sponsors. Go follow us on BelieveInMediaLLC.com. Check out articles. We got a ton of shows for everybody. And if you like Guardians, we got Guardians of the CLE. If you're like the Browns, like us, I'm a co-host for Brown Orange Weekly.
Go Browns.
My boy Clarence. We got all things Cavaliers if you're a Cavs fan. We got the high school sports wrapping up right now. We got football and basketball, wrestling. We're covering a little bit of everything. So shout out to those guys. Give them a follow, like, share, follow us on YouTube. It helps us so much.
Big
Even on
thanks.
Spotify,
Yeah. I mean, I listen to that Spotify every week just to make sure we sound okay. Sometimes we sound great. I mean, we sound great always. Like the audio quality is, but it's sometimes we're dumb.
Yeah.
But big shout out to our boy, the ageless wonder Jeff Jevic. Big shout out to Ashton Day. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate having you. Looking forward to seeing you guys this weekend. Putting on a great show for everybody. So with that, the best in the world, Big Dog.